I traveled to Thailand, the land of freedom that resembles the smile of paradise. In Thailand, I met ancient history. I saw the smiles of wise people who lived abundantly by following the traditions of the Lana Kingdom. The second part of my trip was to the northernmost part of Thailand. People had formed their roots in the mountains and preserved their lifestyles. It was a hometown of the people who had turned a land of despair into evidence of hope through their strong surviving spirit. I visited the northernmost region of Thailand, Chiang Rai. Thailand consists of 77 provinces. The name of the province I will be visiting is Chiang Rai. The capital of Chiang Rai province is Chiang Rai City. Around 840 kilometers from Bangkok, it takes 14 hours to travel there by car. The city is located very far to the north. Along with the neighboring Chiang Mai, it is one of the main cities of northern Thailand. The word Chiang Rai means the city of King Mang Rai. This is a statue of King Mang Rai. He founded the Lana Kingdom in 1262 in Chiang Rai. Befitting his role as a founder of the Lana Kingdom, King Mang Rai is respected as the land's protector and hero. People continue to pay respect to King Mang Rai's statue, standing in the middle of the city. The city was truly the king's city, seeing how the people still respect him after 700 years. Chiang Rai has kept its history and faith over many years. I set out to see another manifestation of their faith. Located 13 kilometers from the downtown area, there's an extraordinary temple that is all white. The construction of Wat Rung Kun Temple was begun in 1998 by famous builder and artist Kalarmachai Kozitpapat, who wished to create a smooth passage into eternity for his mother. The temple is still being built. 95% of Thai's population is Buddhist, and most of its temples are golden, but this temple has unique color and sculptures.
약간 끔찍할 수도 있는 모습인데 이 사원의 입구에는 구천을 떠도는 이 귀신들의 모습을 나타내는 지옥의 모습이 형상화되어 있습니다. 이 천국에 있는 천당에 있는 사람들에게 자신들에게 공덕을 좀 나눠 달라고 아우성을 치는 이 손들의 모습을 보실 수가 있습니다.
The pain that these spirits have to endure because they haven't reached nirvana is quite realistic. The depiction of hell described at the entrance of the temple makes those who see it feel fear and awe at the same time.
เราก็จะตกนรกอย่างเดิมนะครับอย่างนั้นท่านออกข้างโบสถ์ไปเลยนะครับตรงนี้นั้นเป็นสะพานผ่านขุมนรกนะครับมุ่งหน้าสู่สวรรค์ด้านบนแล้วไม่ย้อนกลับมานะครับให้ท่านไปออกข้างโบสถ์ทุกอย่างนั้นดูได้ชมได้ครับแต่ไม่จับไม่พิงนะครับ
As the guide explained, one must first cross a bridge of hell to reach Buddha's nirvana. The round bridge symbolizes reincarnation. that people must repeatedly follow according to their deeds. I crossed the bridge of reincarnation and finally reached the main temple where the Buddha statue is. Unfortunately, no cameras were allowed inside the temple, but the inside of the temple is also unique. The white of the temple stands for the purity of Buddha, and the shining mirrors stand for Buddha's wisdom. As an all-white temple, Wat Rangkung is unique even in Thailand, the country of Buddhism. Next, I left the city and headed towards the Highlands. The province of Chiang Rai is mostly made up of mountainous regions and encompasses highlands with an average altitude of 600 meters. Chiang Rai is located in the most northern part of Thailand. Surrounded by dense forests and great mountains, this is the Golden Triangle where the boundaries between Thailand, Myanmar, and Laos meet. There are villages and people living in these mountainous regions. They are the Acha, Karen, and Hmong people. Far apart from other regions, they have inhabited these mountains in northern Thailand, some of which boast altitudes of over 1,000 meters. I am on my way to meet one of the main highland tribes, the Acha people of Doi Tung. I was lucky to meet some of the Acha people on the mountain road.
ที่ไหนอะคะกลับบ้านเหรอคะ
ไม่ค่ะไปงานแต่ง
ไปงานแต่งเหรอคะแต่งงาน
ค่ะงานแต่งของอาคา
아카족 결혼식 있대요 위에 지금. 그래서 아카족 결혼식에 지금 참석하기 위해서 가고 계십니다.
บ้านไหนบ้านที่
อาคาพัฒนา
อาคาพัฒนาเนี่ย
The women allow the stranger to travel with them. I was able to participate in an Anka wedding thanks to this coincidental meeting.
ป้าคะไปไกลไหมคะ
지금 아카족이시거든요.
네.
소수민족 아카족이셔가지고 태국말을 못하세요. 제 말을 못 알아들으세요.
After driving a long time through the mountainous regions of Doi Tung, we arrived at the Anka Village. There are around 50 households living here in Patnana village. Marriage is the biggest festival for the Anka people, so even relatives living in the city have come to visit. The village is crowded with guests.
사람들이 굉장히 많이 모였습니다. 안에도 지금 꽉 차 있거든요.
The wedding is being held at the groom's house. It is Anka tradition for the groom to hold a banquet and serve the village people. The women are wearing traditional clothes. The Acha people are famous for their colorful costumes. The pinnacle of their fashion is the headwear. Their headwear is decorated with silver coins and marbles.
사람에 따라서 굉장히 치장을 좋아하는 분들은 머리 장식이나 이런 옷 장식 하나에만도 뭐 350만 원, 400만 원씩 드릴 정도로 그렇게 돈을 많이 드린다고 하세요. 예쁜 거를 굉장히 추구하시는 분들이세요.
What is even more surprising is that Aka women rarely take off their headwear. They believe that evil spirits will come if they take off their headwear, so they wear these even while sleeping. The wedding ceremony is about to begin. I can see the bride. She is an Aka girl from a neighboring village. Suddenly, a chick arrives on the scene. I was wondering what it was for, when suddenly it was thrust into the fire and burned alive. It was a sort of sacrifice for the ceremony. Sticky rice, representing fertility, is added to the cooked chicken and thoroughly boiled in water. The groom finally appears. He is 23 years old, like the bride. They make a pretty couple. The chicken soup seems to be ready. The chicken is a precious animal to the Acha people who live in the mountains. The chicken soup is served to the bride and groom in the hopes that it will bring them luck. The bride and groom share the traditional Aka food under the blessing of the presiding elder, symbolizing that they have become one. The two are now officially a married couple. The Acha people's wedding ceremony is very humble. All the tribe's elders have gathered to congratulate them. The women and men sit in different rooms. The Acha people strictly divide the men and women. And of course, it wouldn't be a festive day without singing. The soulful melody fills the room. It is time for the bride and groom to thank their guests. It is a meaningful day for the groom's mother because she gets to show off her son and daughter-in-law. A new family is born in this village. The Acha people are an ethnic minority who migrated from the Yunnan province of China. Marriage is one of the biggest events in Acha society because it is a way for them to continue their tribe. The congratulatory ceremony continues for the newlyweds. Off to one side, the men are busy tying up a pig. They are preparing for another ritual. First, they clean the pig with clean water to dispel any evil spirits. The pig is a valuable asset for the Acha people. The tribe elder has caught a pig today so that he can foresee the couple's future. The pig's liver shape and color is supposed to tell the future.
다 점칠 수 있다 그러거든요. 이분도 아들 난다고 그때 결혼할 때 점쳐져가지고 진짜 아들을 낳았다고. 지금 얘.
According to the villagers, the tribe elder has never been wrong. The new couple are told that they will have a daughter. The bride and groom will continue the Acha tradition, as their parents and tribe have done before them. The Doi Tung mountainous region has long been the home of the Acha people. I visited a place which bears the traces of a woman who is well respected by both the Thai and Acha peoples.
네, 이곳은 더이뚱 로얄 빌라입니다. 그 현 푸미폰 국왕의 어머니이신 시나카린 공주가 기거하시던 곳인데요. 1988년도에 고산족 개발 프로젝트인 더이뚱 개발 프로젝트가 시작이 되면서 그 당시에 실제로 그 고산족 개발 프로젝트를 실무 운영을 하셨던 현 푸미폰 국왕의 어머니인 시나카린 공주께서 실무를 보고 기거하시기 위해서 만든 빌라입니다.
Princess Mother Srinagarindra changed the lives of the Highland people. This region was part of the Golden Triangle and was infamous for opium production until the late 80s. The Highland people were mobilized by the opium trade and became addicted to opiates. Princess Mother Srinagarindra led the way in eradicating addiction and changed the forest into one of trees and flowers instead of poppies. She replaced poppies with a crop that would help the Highland people stand on their own feet. The crop was coffee. The Doi Tung region is optimal for coffee bean production because the land is fertile and there is abundant rain. After 2 decades of coffee bean production, Doi Tung has become a coffee brand that represents Thailand internationally. I found my way through the dense woods to a coffee farm. The people picking the coffee beans were Acha people.
เก็บได้เยอะไหมคะ เก็บไปกี่กิโลแล้วคะ
The coffee harvest season in the Thai Highlands is between December and March. Doi Tung coffee is popular as a high-grade Arabica coffee. I wanted to help out because it was the harvest season, but it was difficult enough just getting through the woods.
진짜 경사가 장난 아니네요.
계속 줄줄이 떨어져.
The steep slope makes it difficult even to find one's balance, but the Acha people are unwavering. They do not hesitate to climb rough slopes when there is coffee bean to be found.
พวกเราอยู่บนดอยนี้ก็ต้องปลูกอย่างนี้ไม่ได้อยู่ในที่ล่างตัวนี้ซื้อที่ก็แพงนะการที่ทำกินนี่ก็โอเคแล้ว
ก็ชาวเขาก็อยู่แถวนี้อยู่แล้วด้วยเนาะ
The harvest is not an easy project as coffee beans must be collected by hand. But these ripe red fruits were what allowed the Acha people to raise their children. This fruit is precious to the Acha people.
요 빨갛게 지금 익은 거는 딸 수 있는 열매고 파란 거는 아직 안 익어서 따면 안 돼요. 그래서 요 빨간 것만 지금 골라서 따고 계세요.
The picked fruit is put in a sack. Even after a half day's work, only half the sack has been filled.
แล้ววันหนึ่งประมาณเก็บได้ประมาณกี่กิโลคะคนหนึ่งอะคะ
ถ้าเฉลี่ยแล้วตัวประมาณ40 กิโลนะครับคนหนึ่งอันนี้
คนหนึ่ง40
อันนี้คือเฉลี่ยทุกคนนะครับบางคนก็ได้เยอะบางคนได้น้อยคือเฉลี่ยต่อคนประมาณ40 กิโล
The people cling tight to the slopes and sweat all day long to harvest 40 kilograms of coffee beans per day. The coffee of the Doi Tung region is a result of the efforts of the Acha people. This is the Anka Village of Pocky in the Doi Tung region. This village also farms coffee. Just a decade ago, it was a place ruled by opium, but now the people's lives have changed thanks to coffee. Instead of poppies, the roofs are now covered with coffee beans. Opium addicts have become farmers. Pocky Village even has machinery with which to process coffee beans. The harvested coffee beans are washed in water and peeled using a machine. The peels are not thrown away. They're gathered in one place through a pipe. Coffee bean peels are a great source of feed for chickens and cattle. Thanks to the coffee bean peel, it has become much easier to feed the cattle. Once the fruit is peeled, it is dried.
ประมาณแดดดีๆแล้วก็ประมาณ7-8 วันครับ
7-8 วัน
ครับ
The coffee of Pocky Village gains its rich, deep aroma through a 2-week-long drying process, which relies on the powers of the sun and wind. The dried coffee bean is sold throughout Thailand and exported abroad under the Doi Tung brand. I wanted to smell and taste this coffee made in Pocky Village.
คุณพ่อหลวงใช่ไหมคะ
ได้ครับดีครับดีครับ
ยินดีที่ได้รู้จักค่ะ
เช่นกันครับ
ค่ะ อันนี้ร้านกาแฟเหรอคะ
ใช่
อ๋อ
ครับ
เป็นคอฟฟี่ช็อปนะฮะ
ใช่ใช่อเมริกาโน่
ได้ทั้งนั้นนะคะอเมริกาโน่
Pocky Village operates its own coffee shop. Befitting a cafe in the Highlands, when I ordered coffee, I was offered fresh ground coffee using coffee beans roasted that very day.
ทุกคนที่มาในหมู่บ้านเนี่ยมาในหมู่บ้านที่ปลูกกาแฟแต่ถ้าไม่มีร้านกาแฟเนี่ยก็เดี๋ยวไม่ได้ชิมกาแฟไผ่เหตุผลนี้นะฮะเหตุผลแรกก็คือที่เปิดอย่างนี้
The coffee shop is more of a resting place for the villagers, so the coffee is sold at the affordable price of $1 American. What does fresh brewed coffee taste like?
이게 방금 갈아서 방금 내려주신 커피거든요. 향이 너무 구수하고 같아요.
Acha coffee has a fresh and deep taste, and that superior taste won the Acha People an award at a coffee contest a few years ago. That is how their coffee came to be known as a world-class coffee. These Highlanders replaced opium with coffee. Their courage to change has turned Chiang Rai into a land of hope. Before leaving Chiang Rai, I was met with a sad ceremony. A funeral was going on in the village. It was a funeral of the village head who had dedicated his life to the village. The coffin was placed at the entrance to the mortuary, which was adorned with silver plates and utensils for the deceased. The funeral guests took pictures in front of the coffin without any reserve. The funeral ceremony atmosphere was very different from what I was used to in Korea. Usually, funerals in Thailand last for 7 days. During that time, the family and relatives prepare a place for the spirit of the deceased. They prepare a small house and fill it with new kitchenware, a washing machine, refrigerator, and sundry household items. They prepare a room for the spirit to live and sleep in. Even a car is prepared. All of this was made possible by the condolence money collected. On the 7th and last day of the funeral, the coffin is made ready to be taken out. The miniature house containing the coffin is hitched to a car, and the car is pulled by a rope held by people. The long line is led by Buddhist monks. The rope stands for the firm connection the deceased has with Buddha himself. The rope is pulled, and the funeral parade moves forward with a coffin in tow. The Buddhist monks, the bereaved family and guests, set out on their last journey, holding onto the rope that connected them with the deceased. The funeral procession heads toward the crematorium. The main funeral ceremony is held with the family and guests. Cremation is usually carried out according to Buddhist tradition. The remains are burned because Thai people believe in reincarnation and the rebirth of the soul. Before cremating their loved ones' remains, the people pray and comfort the leaving spirit.
ความตายคือทุกคนก็ถือว่าหมดทุกข์หมดกรรม คือเหมือนกับบอกว่าสิ้นเวรสิ้นกรรมแล้วถ้าเป็นคนแก่แล้วเราก็เหมือนกับว่ากรรมเข้ามาถึงแค่นั้นก็ให้เขาพักผ่อนละ
Attendees flocked to the crematorium. They offered up paper flowers called tokjan. This is the last gift that people can give to the deceased, and it symbolizes their heartfelt goodwill. The time to say farewell approaches, and a deep sadness descends upon those present. When the paper flowers offered by those present are placed in the coffin, the funeral ceremony is completed. Along with these final farewell gifts, the remains and coffin are cremated. Through the funeral, I discovered another aspect of Chiang Rai. As I participated in these final hours of farewell, I realized that our lives may disappear like the smoke, but a new life will be awaiting us tomorrow.